about is relationships. Yes, relationships. I know it might be difficult to hear, but yes, it comes from so many different angles and it stems from so many different things. Why we want to talk about relationships, the different types of relationships as far as like the basic go, and as far as figuring out whether or not it's a healthy one or a healthy one, or what type of relationship is it in general. Now, relationships are basically something where as you have a communication with someone else in terms of its form of connection. Now, is when two or more people in a group regard and the way they behave towards each other. This is what we define as a relationship. I know everyone is probably saying, what? Relationships is basically how you present yourself in terms of interacting with someone. That's a type of relationship. Okay? As smart as a little as it might be, it could be a landlord and you the tenant. That's a type of relationship. If you are husband and wife, that's a type of relationship. If you're a boss and employee, that's another type of relationship. Now, as far as it goes, you have to figure out what type of relationship you have with person or a group of people. Okay? Because relationships stems from a lot of different things and it can help you in the long run. Whether or not you have a positive or negative relationship, that's a real question. Because guess what? Relationships stems from a lot of different things that we have involved with right now. Past, present, future, and everything in between. Because it's very hard to not have a relationship when you're unable to define what's a healthy one and what's an unhealthy one. Now, as far as the four different types would be your family. Your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, your cousins, that's your family, right? Right. Now, another type of relationship would be friendship. A friendship would be someone that you actually trust and not a necessary associate. Associate is another type of relationship. Then, of course, we have the fourth obvious one, which is the romantic relationship. Right? Now, what I wanted to do is define what a relationship is as far as what type you want to be in. My site, I'm actually going to pour on tomorrow, not today, but tomorrow, a definition of the four different types of relationships, because it's very unclear as far as when it comes to relationships and what you should and should not be involved in, and what should be a healthy one and what shouldn't not be part of your world, right? Which means, is a type of relationship, but is it a positive one or is it a negative? If you do succeed, then you'll be able to identify what you have going on and what can be changed and what can be advanced in towards an era where it's better understanding. Once you get to define what your relationship is and why you think it is a relationship, and if it's non-existent. Like, people obviously forget the non-existent. Sometimes it's non-existent is a relationship that is one-sided basically, and that's not good, which means it might or may not be unhealthy. Now, if you fail to do such, then you'll probably be in a standstill and you probably wouldn't know whether or not this is a relationship or this is just you being a little bit extra or a little bit beyond what is expected. Okay? Now, as far as the different type of relationships, one of the main reasons I want to discuss this is because relationships can make or break what you have going on. It isn't just about your attitude. Your attitude plays a big part in form of building a relationship, keeping a relationship, or ending a relationship. It could also play a part in getting to where you want to be in a fast manner, or being very slow and moderate and not being where you want to be at that particular time. Now, relationships comes from so many different sources, because to have a relationship is to understand where you and that person or group of people are coming from. For example, let's say romantic relationship. If you're in a relationship and you're basically giving too much and the other person isn't giving much or anything, basically just intercourse, sexual favors, then you might be in something that's one-sided, which means it's probably not exactly a long-term relationship, but it is indeed a relationship. It might be a wham, bam, thank you, ma'am relationship, or you could be a booty call, which all stems from all being an unhealthy relationship. Now, unhealthy, toxic, same thing. What we want to do is be the best when it comes to our own individual self. Because if you have a good understanding with yourself, you can build a strong relationship with yourself. That means taking care of your health. That means exercising, having a social life. That means doing things that you enjoy, going out there, having a good time. These are all things that help you when it comes to understanding oneself and understanding where you stand when it comes to relationships. Now, another type of relationship, if you are interacting with your mom or your dad or your sibling or someone you might be related to, then that would be your family relationship. Family relationships can be very diverse and it could be very complex. Family is something that you have and you can't exactly get rid of them. It's basically something you're born into, but we can have families that aren't exactly blood related, but a family to us because of how close our connection may be. Which means you could have a friend that's not blood related and you could be very good friends with them, and they could be by yourself and help you through different things that you have going on. That's a healthy relationship. Now, you might have a negative relationship in terms of your friend. If your friend is downplaying you and telling you stuff that you might not want to hear, or they're just like, yeah, whatever, and then listening and go through one ear, coming through next, and there's no real response, then that might not actually be a friend. We like to call those frenemies. Frenemies is basically someone who pretends to be your friend, but they're not actually your friend. It's aka a hater in disguise. It's like a wolf in sheep clothing, basically. So, another type of relationship is associate. Associate means someone you interact with that you're not considering your friend. Like, you don't call them on the phone, hey, what's up, Lisa? What's up, Bob? Let's talk, and y'all go out and have a good time in the night or during the day. And that's a associate. Associate is basically someone who is not your friend, but you talk to them anyway. Associate could be your neighbor. It could be somebody in the street that you say, hi, how you doing? It could be a co-worker, or it could be somebody simple as a stranger you see and y'all in a common area and you make small conversation. That will be considered an associate. Now, when it comes to relationship in terms of romantically now, that means you and a person could be dating. Y'all could be just having intercourse. Y'all could be just hanging out. That's also a form of relationship. Now, there are very different meanings and there are 4 basic types: romantic, associate, friendship, and family. One of the things you don't want to do is make business with pleasure, because those type of relationships go nowhere. I know that you know that it takes a lot for a person to develop a healthy relationship versus what it takes to be in an unhealthy one. Identifying what is unhealthy one is very much easy for some, but others it might be a little bit more difficult, because a lot of us are not used to seeing something that's healthy, something that is actually growing and is going to advance and grow. That is why we really need to focus on why is this happening. Could it be that the personality is attracting the wrong type of people in their life? They're actually trying to fix everything, or they compromise too much, or they just play them right, don't know how to interact with people to develop some type of relationship to begin with. Yes, that's what I said. Not the type of person to develop a relationship to begin with. Some people can interact with a lot of people and have different associates and not no actual friends. It has happened. They're called introverts, people who love being by themselves and they like chilling alone and don't like big crowds and they don't like to do a lot of various different things. Well, when it comes to being in a relationship can be positive and a negative. Just like how it is for you, it might not be for everybody. But to have a healthy relationship is the best thing for everyone. Because if you have a relationship that's not healthy and you get it to a point where you're not realizing the different signs, then you might actually end up with a problem later on. If it's healthy, then it's going to grow and it's going to advance. If you're somebody that's intimidating you, they're cheating, they're lying, they're manipulative, they're calling you out your name, they're literally not bringing something forward to the table, then most likely is something that's unhealthy. Now, today we have been talking about relationships. So next time is Miss Sitira for Sparkling Memories. Bye-bye.